was a typo. Welcome to Comics League Movie Night. I am Jared. I'm here with Robert. What's up, dude?
Yo, how's it going, everyone?
Now, today we are going to talk about a really cool movie. Now, this is one that is on a character that I think deserves way more than he gets in terms of like movies and stuff. And he's one of the characters I think could support his own movie.
Oh, yeah, he's aboard his own title for 50 issues.
Yeah, exactly. And they still do an occasional book on this character. So we're talking about Deathstroke, Knights and Dragons. And what's up, Cameron? But, oh, boy.
By the way, if you're hearing any noise, I'm trying to finish up some yard work before it gets dark. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. So this was originally intended to be a mini-series on CW's The Seed. But after episode 1 aired, they decided to like release it all that following August as
Seed was already on the way out by that point anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And I will say the first thing I'm going to say about this that's really cool is the art style and animation because it looks like a freaking comic book.
It does. It might be a little bit limited here and there in moments, but for the most part, it's really good.
Yeah. So what this basically is it tells the story of Slade Wilson, aka Deathstroke. Hey, what's up, NJ? And this is one of the occasions. This is one of the things because when you look at Deathstroke, when he first showed up, of course he was a straight up bad guy against the like
with a moral code. With a moral code.
But when you actually do research into the character, it's much more complicated than that because in many ways, Deathstroke is a good man.
In
some ways.
Here's how I would more phrase it.
Yeah.
He's a man he's a monster who wants to be a good man, sometimes convinces himself he's a good man, but will always guaranteed fall off the horse.
Yes, exactly.
That's how I would look at it, because in the end, he's a monster. Yeah, not in this movie, but in most other versions, he's a monster.
And before you guys bring it up, because I know someone's inevitably going to bring it up in the chat and the stream.
Tara's not in this.
The whole him and Tara thing was retconned to crap. So that doesn't even happen in canon anymore. So.
Yep. Unless you read other history.
Yeah, exactly. So with this, so let's talk about it. Is this
nothing with it's not canon with anything.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure. So
yeah, no, there's a standalone.
Yeah, so this one. So let's talk about this. Hey, what's up, Parker? What's up, Somar? So with this one, so this brings up Slade's number one motivation. This is, in my mind, his number one. He will always protect his family.
He might go to growth extremes that are, again, monstrous, but in his own twisted mind, he thinks he's doing it for family.
Yeah, exactly. That's what makes Deathstroke such a compelling character, is that once you understand his motivations, you're like...
Now, I want to make clear, I'm saying this because this movie is the most heroic he's ever been, aside from Teen Titans Earth 1. Aside from that, this is the most heroic he's ever been. I just want to make it clear people don't get a misunderstanding.
Wasn't he on the Justice League at one point?
No.
He wasn't? I thought they brought him on at one point when he was trying to be a good guy.
No. He helped out in Priest's run, but he was more there like, I'm cleaning up your mess.
Oh, okay, I see.
He never joined. He was just there. It was meant to be a tie-in because it dealt with some of the loose ends. And it was a case of, there's a guy, basically in that whole thing, there was a guy who worked security on making the satellite. He went wicked and decided, I'm going to blackmail the Justice League. They couldn't lock him up because that would have been, that would be cruel and unusual. But they couldn't put him in normal prison because he would blab and everything, and they weren't going to kill him. So in the end, Slade killed the guy and be like, I cleaned up your mess for you.
Okay, I see. So let's go over first, before we talk about the movie, who Slade Wilson is. So Slade Wilson is a guy, so they kind of deal with this in the movie. So he joined the armed forces at 17, I think, or like
whatever age.
Yeah, the point is below the enlistment age, and he lied about his age to get in. So
kind of like Cap.
Yeah, exactly. So he was so effective as a soldier that when the military found out, they kept him around and then put him in essentially in a super soldier program. And what this does is his tactical mind is like unmatched. And
Yeah, that's where you get the whole the untapped, like he uses the remaining 99% of his brain. Completely not true, but whatever.
yeah, and he has not as insane as Deadpool or Wolverine, but he has a healing factor.
Yes, he does. Although his eye will not heal, usually for various psychological reasons.
Yeah, but one of the things I loved is in the Daniel run from the new 52, where we had both eyes, and then the god said we need blood, so he just plucks out his own eyes and here.
Yeah, but I don't care that they de-aged him because it was trying to match the Arrowverse.
Yeah, of course. But so that's the thing about Slade. So during his service, he met Adeline Kane, and they
Yep.
fell in love and had kids. So
Well, one kid in this movie, but yeah, he's the mother of Grant and Jericho.
yeah, so
Grant is not in this movie.
yeah, he leaves the military with Adeline, but he's one of those things like he doesn't adjust well to civilian life, so he becomes a mercenary essentially.
That's where the whole he'll always fall off the wagon boils down to. No
Yeah,
matter what, he will always go back.
yeah.
Always.
So in this, so what happens with this is like Slade goes on an operation, and essentially the bad guys find out. H.I.V.E. essentially finds out as the bad guys and kidnap his son.
They could have used I'll be honest, they could have used Cobra just as much here.
Yeah, still, I would say that too. But anyway, so Hive's operative named the Jackal kidnaps it's Jericho, right?
Well, at the moment he's Joey, but yeah, Jericho.
Yeah. So what happens is he basically says, "Hey, you're gonna work for Hive, or we're gonna kill your son." So Slade attacks, and in the scuffle,
yep, throat slit. That always happens. Always.
His throat Joseph's throat gets. And I think Jericho and I mean Slade and Adeline both think he died, right?
No.
Oh no, yeah, exactly.
Not in here and not in most versions. Most versions he just went mute. But this is always what drives Adeline away.
Yeah, so she leaves. Now, there are some versions where the way he loses his eye is Adeline shoots him in the back of the head.
That was New 52, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I thought there was one version where she did that because of this, is what I.
Yeah, that was the New 52 version, but most versions, nope, someplace separate.
Yeah, so Adeline and Slade break up, and they go their.
I will say this: Adeline, this is her biggest role she's ever had.
Yeah, and she was honestly a badass in this.
What she usually is, which led to one bit in Priest's run I love, where she reminds him, "I'm just as badass as you." He said, "Don't blame me for your uterus."
Yeah,
it's like can't blame me for that.
Yeah, I love Slade. So then, so 10 years later, Hive is still like crazy.
Well, Hyde is believed to have been dead, but they actually went underground.
Yeah, and then Slade is contacted by Hive's leader, the Queen. Now, you don't know who this is, but this is actually a really cool reveal here for another.
One of my favorite characters.
Yeah, it's a character associated. We have seen this character in other adaptations of this story, so this isn't like it's an unknown character. Anyway.
No. Yeah, but yeah, exactly. We'll get to that.
So you learn that like Joseph has psionic abilities, like mind.
Well, again, more powerful here. Usually, it's just body jump.
Yeah, exactly. So Slade meets with Adeline and basically explains to her the situation, and then he goes to, and as he leaves, Adeline kisses him. Little does Slade know she's actually implanting a tracker into him.
Of course.
That's clever. That's clever. I dig that. So Slade goes to the island, and essentially he learns that the Jackal's alive because he thought that the Jackal was killed.
Right.
And we also meet Lady Shiva as well.
The weakest part of this movie.
Yeah, I would say that. Who incapacitates Slade and brings him from the Queen. Now the Queen is Ravager.
Rose.
Rose Wilson. So it turns out on an operation, and they kind of allude to this with Slade and Adeline. Slade cheated on his wife with
A one night stand, and in his own twisted way, he said, "Yeah, but it's funny as it sounds. I'm not laughing. I like that's when I realized how much I really loved you.
yeah,
I love that. I'm not laughing. I don't mean it like that. Then what did you mean?"
yeah, exactly. So and obviously Rose resents her father for like abandoning her and such, and she's like, she has many of Slade's abilities because he was a super soldier when he slept with her mom.
Eileen, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. So Adeline is like has been like manipulating for the most part Jericho to turn him into a weapon for Hive.
No, Adeline didn't do that. That was
No,
Rose.
no, I'm sorry, Rose. Sorry, I'm getting confused with all these characters.
Yeah, Rose. I'll say this. Damn DeMatteis, this is some of his better work. It's one of the reasons why I really like his work. He really gets into the mind of characters.
Yeah, exactly. That's what one of the good parts there. So what you have next is essentially they take Jericho and
So Slade goes in to go rescue him, but it turns out it was all, and Jericho's in on it.
yeah, exactly. And then Slade is like blown up and
So
blown
shut
up.
down, shut up, shut up.
Yeah, I was about to say he is turned into Swiss freaking cheese.
Now this is the case where they do amp up his healing ability to Deadpool levels in this
They
new
need
version.
to because of what happens to the guy.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, so then what happens is he's rescued by Wintergreen and Adeline.
Probably one of the best, probably one of the more accurate interpretation of Wintergreen, race bent notwithstanding.
Yeah, it's like, and that was again one of the occasions where I'm like, yeah, it's one of the occasions where like, I don't care because they don't make that his thing. So
They don't make it his thing, and again, he's British, he's a friend, he doesn't betray him like the Arrowverse did, and he has a long-standing history and a good friend with Slade, and he's on the older side.
yeah, so Jackal and Shiva take the kids and they go to, and they're on a plane. They're going to attack Washington D.C. So
Turned out Jackal did too good a job raising them, and they decide we're going to take over. But of course, he's like, you really think I'd be training people with psychic abilities and who could overthrow me just as easily and not have a backup?
So you're telling me he had contingency plans?
Well, again, that is a good point, though. A good villain would really be like, I'm going to make these guys. What an idiot villain would be like, I'm going to make them so powerful, yet I'm so certain I will keep them under control. There's no chance they're going to betray. Oh, God, they betrayed me.
Yeah, exactly.
That's an idiot. That's an idiot.
Exactly. So in one of the coolest action scenes I have ever seen, Slade and Adeline board the plane midair with jetpacks.
Yep.
One of the coolest things ever as Wintergreen provides air cover, and then they like breach the plane, get in there, rescue Jericho and Rose, and the family essentially fights Jackal and Lady Shiva.
Rose kills Shiva again. Not really her.
And NJ brought up, yeah, she did get like captains because Shiva is no matter what Tom King says, the most effective, the best hand-to-hand combat specialist.
The only time this would work is if this was her original appearance before they made her OP.
Yeah, exactly.
Her earlier appearances, I could have believed this. Her later appearances, no.
Yeah,
which I think that's what Mateo was going for. He was going more for early, I'm a merc for hire, the type of Lady Shiva where you could actually accept Jason Todd's dad somehow knowing her.
Yeah, exactly.
Seriously, it's like, okay, back then that makes sense. Nowadays, I'm still baffled. Like, okay, the other two I can kind of believe, but Lady Shiva, how the hell did Jason Todd's dad not only know her, but bang her?
Yeah, exactly. So they have a fight, and then they defeat. So here's the way this works out. Slade sacrifices himself to save his family. Sacrifices himself. I use air quotes because the dude has a healing ability, and the movie ends with like the kids going off. I think it was college or something like that, or like doing kid stuff. And the last
Cool
shot of the
stuff.
movie, the last shot of the movie is you see like Slade's eye open. So obviously he's not dead.
Oh,
But,
and we also find out that Jackal, why does he hate Slade so much? It's because Slade killed his daughter, but the hypocrisy is he's the one who put his daughter in the predicament in the first place.
yeah, exactly.
It's like you killed my daughter. It's like, so what? You're saying you expected Slade to fail?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, what's up, Tevia? Now, let's talk about the voice cast, because let me tell you this.
Chickless was great.
Chickless as Deathstroke is solid.
Now, solid in a way because he makes it like you are sympathetic with him, which normally you shouldn't, but in this version, you buy it.
And let's be honest, he has that tough guy voice where you can believe it coming from Slade Wilson.
Oh, exactly. But again, he has that kindness where he's trying to be a knight.
Yeah, exactly. So you know what? It really works. And the whole Knights and Dragons thing is because when he was deployed over the phone, he would read the Knights and Dragons story to
and he tried to make himself a knight for Jericho. Yeah, to Jericho, and he tried to emulate it.
Which works with like the armor he wears as well and the sword and stuff. So I'm like, oh, that really works for this. I like that.
Again, this works as a standalone. But I like this in any expanded universe? No.
No. I don't even think that this would be the one for like the DCEU movie when there was going to be a Deathstroke movie.
No. Again, as a standalone, this is fine. That's why I can accept the Lady Shiva thing. Because, like, she's just Lady Shiva in name only. She's a hench girl. It just begins and ends here.
Yeah, it's like this is a version of the character. You don't have to dig it, but still.
Yeah, exactly. But Rose, well handled. And I loved how her love for her brother was sincere. Even when Jackal tried to say, you manipulated him like I manipulated you.
Yeah, exactly. You could definitely tell this. And then Tevia says that the movie reminded him of the Priest run.
Yes.
I heard was really good. I need to check that out.
Find the omnibus if you can. But Cameron brings up Grant. To be fair, Jackal is actually based the alternative identity, not to Grant, but to the second Ravager after Grant.
Yeah, so it's like, that works. NJ says Young Justice Shiva is awesome. Yeah, she is. Young Justice Deathstroke is also really good. So
agree. And the other thing also is Grant served no purpose because he never got abilities. Because in universe he was conceived before Slade getting amp souped up. That's why in the original, when he took the contract to go after the Titans, H.I.V.E gave him a inferior version of Slade's super soldier serum, and it killed him.
Okay, I think I remember what was it in the new 52 run where Slade fought Grant.
Oh, I don't even pay attention to that because that was I think that was from the early run, and yeah, that wasn't that good. The very beginning New 52 run.
It's when Daniel hopped on that I'm like, yeah, I dig this. Short of the de-aging, I'm like, yeah, I dig this. This is dope.
I thought it was serviceable.
It was okay in my mind. It was good, but it's
I get especially the tie-in with Wonder Woman. I know, but
especially it's the fact that he fights gods.
I know, but for me, I felt it was serviceable at best.
Yeah, okay, but it's like, and that's the thing about like Slade as a character, because he is the character that like can support his own stuff, but he doesn't get a lot of like attention.
And unfortunately, you get some people who overhype him, like Brad Meltzer, having it be, oh, I dealt with Wally as Kid Flash. I could take him out as the Flash.
Yeah, it's cool that like the way he takes out the Flash, he just holds his sword and while he runs into it.
But that's right up there with Catwoman being able to stop Flash.
Yeah, but and also, what's to stop the Flash from moving or ducking?
Exactly.
He's super fast.
And the in-story reason was, oh, he's making the same, like, different costumes, same mistakes. No.
Yeah, like, let me put it this way. Do I think Slade could take out the entire league? No. Could he take out a portion of the league? Yeah. 100%.
Now, here's a big question. Do you think Slade, on his own, in a fair fight, could at least go toe-to-toe with Diana?
In a fair fight? Yeah, I do.
Yeah, thought so.
Because here's why. Because Slade has the intelligence to be able to fight her, not necessarily on her own terms. Because obviously she has super strength, she's going to punch his head off. So he's with his tactical mind alone, he could find a way to like even the odds. Will he win? I'm maintaining. No.
It depends on circumstances. It depends on circumstances, and it depends on if the story demands it.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm just saying, like, straight up, Slade versus.
Yeah. That's a case where it's up to the story, but you can believe it either way.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? I could buy it. It's just you would have to take away Diana's like super strength and speed in order for me to really buy it.
Or have it be he catches her off guard or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like my idea for like Wonder Woman fighting a predator is that the gods have a challenge for her. She has to fight the predator without her powers. That's the way you do it.
Right. And I know NJ's probably get annoyed. I'm saying this is a case where, given how Slade is, it's believable either way if the story calls for it.
Yeah, because Slade
if the story doesn't call for it, it's BS.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Slade has defeated like characters that were much more powerful than he was in the past.
Exactly. And again, he's been able to go toe-to-toe with Batman.
That's not that hard for like a lot of characters. So I'll give you that.
Dude, I mean Batman, prep time, everything. Modern Batman.
Don J asks, do you think Deathstroke is stronger than Cap? Yep, I do.
Nah, I say they're on par. Because Cap, the whole super soldier serum, brought him to peak endurance. Slade does not have that.
Oh, okay. That's a good point.
If anything, Slade is closer to Taskmaster.
Okay, I can buy that. Actually, I can definitely buy that. By NJ disagrees with us, but that's fine. I'll give you that.
Yeah, again, it's a case where you have to look at it from a story perspective. And again, Slade, it'll be like if I'm more likely to believe Slade could beat it than Mouse Man in a one-on-one fight.
What I would do is I would have it where like it's part of the story is Diana has to get captured. It's like she wants to get captured to get close to someone, so she lets Slade win. That way it could be like, no, she would win, but she allowed herself to lose in this case.
Right. I'm just saying Slade is one of those characters where it's believable that if you lose this, you're like, okay, Slade.
It's much more believable than the Sovereign. Let me put it to you that way.
Much more believable than the Sovereign. Much more believable than any of Flash's rogues. Okay, individually. Yeah. As a team, maybe.
Cameron asks, honestly, I feel like DC or fans want Slade to be on par with characters like H.I.V.E or Talia, or in some cases, Deadshot.
He's beyond Deadshot. I'm sorry.
He would curb stomp Floyd.
I'm sorry. Floyd has inferiority complex to Slade for a reason.
And here's the thing. Here's why Slade is so dangerous. He gets in your mind, and he will use your insecurities against you.
Hey, look back at the Red X story in the first cartoon.
Yeah.
The old cartoon. That matches what he would do. His manipulation of Terra alone.
Like, Tevia brings up Slade versus Superman. It's like Slade once threw green rocks at Superman because he goes, he'll think these are kryptonite. Here.
Yeah, for at least he'll react until they get close.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is exactly what he would do. That's exactly what he would do.
And NJ, I agree with you that if Wonder Woman wanted to win, she would beat Slade. But I'm just saying, if it serviced the story, I could see her intentionally losing if it advances like her plans.
Yeah, or again, even if it's just not her own intentional choice, that's the case where I could still say, if the story demanded it, Slade is one of those few where I can accept it and not call BS. Like I said.
Here's the thing. Slade would find a way to wrap her in the lasso, and then she's like...
Exactly. He did exactly. No, he didn't do exactly that. But the fact, I bought him being able to take out Zatanna and Black Canary during Identity Crisis by hitting a pressure point to make Zatanna vomit, or wrapping a bag around Dinah, or using a laser pointer on the Atom.
Yeah. By the way, Cameron asked what we thought of Bronze Tiger in this movie.
Yeah,
Kind of forgettable.
again, just like Shiva, those two really suffered.
Which here's the thing, though. Did they really need to play that big of a role in the movie?
No, but you just needed some lackey, and you needed to put you needed a name.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like that's why I wasn't that big of a thing, because I'm like it's not a Shiva or Bronze Tiger movie. It's a Deathstroke movie.
No, I want to make one thing clear again with what I'm trying to say about the story thing. What I mean is, Slade is one I can believe it compared to say Captain Boomerang was one-shotting, taking down Diana because the story demanded. That would be a case of nothing you can convince me. Nothing you can convince me.
Exactly.
But Slade, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Thoughts. Let me put this way. We still let me put this way. Tell me if you guys agree with this. So basically, what you're saying, Robert, is that Diana would beat Slade, but in the off chance that Slade won, it would be believable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In the off chance Slade won, I could accept and be like, okay, it's Deathstroke.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, as I said, if it was someone like Captain Boomerang, no, BS, bullcrap.
Yeah, NJ says, I think he even used the God Kill sword against her. No, he didn't get beaten. He didn't get beaten. What he did is he convinced her to stop it because he was like, why are you attacking me when we're under attack here?
Exactly. Completely different. They never let into a fight. They never let into a fight.
Yeah, I mean, no, she attacked Slade at first because she thought he like unleashed a.
I meant a full fight.
Yeah, exactly. Slade would have to be having the luckiest day in his life. Yeah, I would say that, but still, we're saying in the event that happened, it's kind of easy to buy it.
That's all I meant. That's all I meant. If it happened, you're like, it's Deathstroke, of course.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I can kind of buy that. And then Cameron says, honestly, the fact that Shiva was going online in anything in this movie shows that this is probably an early version of her. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know how much more.
This matches more how she was. Like I said, by the time of Death in the Family, where she was simply hired to train a bunch of mercenary crew. And again, that somehow Jason Todd's dad was able to have been in contact with her.
And Dave says, I could buy the entire Central City Rose taking down Diana. No, that I'm not going to buy, Dave.
No, I said as a group, maybe they could at least give her a challenge and everything. Individually, no.
Ultimately, she's gonna win. So that's what I'm gonna go with that. Speaking of Slade Deathstroke, it reminds me, how do you guys feel about Deathstroke's wife being involved in this movie? Yeah, I thought it was cool. She was a badass in this, and
she was a badass. She actually was given much more credence and everything. Really loved that.
It wasn't like at no point in this movie did
she
feel
boss.
like a side or anything like that. She was an important character in the movie.
But they didn't go as far making her like she's the real star.
No, it was still Slade's movie, but she was all the bit of like awesome as he was. So thoughts
exactly.
If Slade gets in, gets out, lightning fast attack, gets what he wants and gets out, he could be, or if he was prepared. Yeah, he would need prep time to take out Wonder Woman. I want to be clear on that.
Oh yeah. Obviously, but usually when he goes in, he's usually going to go in with prep time because he'll be like either like chances are like he'll look at like there's a good chance the Amazon might show up.
Yeah, exactly. And NJ, yes, because he has beaten Clark because the plot demanded it in the past.
Exactly. He's beaten Clark in the past because the plot demanded it. He's beaten Batman. He's beaten again. The whole thing going after the Flash, that's where it was a bit too much because it's just the explanation was BS.
Now, hang on. Let's talk about what we mean by beaten. It doesn't necessarily mean she's like knocked back and like her sword's out of her hand and stuff. It could just be he just delays her until whatever he's doing is
exactly.
It doesn't mean because all he would have to do is like buy time. He doesn't have to like knock her back and like knock her to her knees or something like that.
Exactly. I mean, but could I accept that knocking to her knees again? It
depends on the story. So I'm like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Depends if it's important for that's what I'm saying. My whole point is I can buy it with Slade more than I can buy a lot of other villains.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I can buy Lex having a means of bringing her down.
Oh, because he has a means of because here's the thing about Lex. he has plans to take out Superman. We know this. So it makes sense that he would have plans to take out the other heroes.
Even Joker, I could see. It would take a lot big effort, but I could still buy it. No, no, not one on one, but like using a Joker gas or something like that.
But she has divine blood. That's where I'm like,
I,
nah, I can't
she
buy
did.
that.
She did get corrupted during Endgame.
Yeah, but that was like
Yeah.
because the plot demanded it. I guess. All right.
Hey, my point. He defeated the Justice League.
That's just because Scott Snyder is a Batman fan. But I see what you're saying.
But like I said, Captain Boomerang, hell no.
And by Don J, yes, he had the God Killer story. If you ever want a solid, enjoyable, and well-drawn Slade run, check out Tony S. Daniel.
Yes, definitely. But I would say Priest run is definitely one of the definitive ones since the Wolfman run.
I need to check that out. I really want to. But your thoughts that Slade versus the Batman would be an epic fight done right? You could do a whole movie on that. They were going to. Yeah. Green Lantern, I could maybe. Green Lantern is actually relatively easy because all you have to do is find him.
That was another thing that was BS in Identity Crisis. Slade somehow being able to counter his will against Kyle made Kyle so inept.
Yeah. Lego goes Deathstroke versus Deadpool. This is the case. I got to go with Deadpool because inevitably the healing factor.
That battle was right. Slade does not have a means to take Deadpool down.
Yeah, and it's like Deadpool's just going to keep
Taskmaster though, and Slade.
Slade is going to win. Let's face it, Slade is going to win.
He was going after the knockoff, the inspiration, more likely than the parody.
Yeah, because while Taskmaster can like copy fighting styles,
and memorize it, he memorizes it.
I don't think he'd be able to match Deathstroke's speed.
No, he can actually. That's how he works. The longer he fights, the more he's able to perfectly mimic a person.
Yeah. Okay. And thoughts.
But he won't have. He can't gain the experience though.
Yeah. So I feel like Slade would figure it out and like make a trap or something. Like he would find some way to. That's the thing about Slade that people forget. He's also ridiculously intelligent.
Again, that's one of the things. Rather than bring him up to peak intelligence. Physical ability on par with Cap, it made him supremely intelligent and still increased his strength.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing. Slade would find some way Slade would find it. That's why that's why Robert and I are using the excuse of if the story demands it, because Slade is like one of those guys that will he has Batman's intelligence. I'll say that he has Batman's capacity to overthink things and create contingency plans.
His only flaw is his ego. His only flaw is his ego and his underestimation of some enemies. Usually the case where if it doesn't go according to plan, it falls apart.
Yeah, exactly. NJ says, since the New 52, they say one of them doesn't have a weakness, but they showed the power of the plot is her weakness. She has divine blood powers. So on paper, she could not be. Yeah, exactly, NJ. That's my point. And it's even pre-New 52. It just depends. Because here's the thing. Stan Lee said this. He goes, whenever anyone asks me who would win, Thor or Hulk or so, he says, well, whoever the writer wants to win. They will find some way to make them
And also, win. Gail Simone also put it best. When it comes to an actual fight, the fight itself is window dressing. It's everything that happened before and after it.
Yeah, because and now here's the thing. I guarantee you Slade respects Wonder Woman as a fighter.
Oh, well, depending on the writer, but yes.
Depending on the writer. Like if I wrote her, or like even the New 52, it was more of like, look, I respect you as a fellow warrior. Still gonna fight you, but I respect you.
Exactly. Or like, not gonna kill you. There's no price on your head. 2, I'm not stupid.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Here's why it's really stupid for anyone to kill a leaguer, particularly someone as high up. If you kill a leaguer, all of the leaguers are coming. The
rogues learned that the hard way when they killed off Bart.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's like
that was always why that was their number one rule. Don't kill the speedster.
Yeah, because people have said to them, why don't you kill the Flash? Because we don't want Superman coming after us.
Exactly. And that was their worst year after that happened. That was
Yeah,
the worst year of their life.
Imagine today, if a cop is shot in the line of duty, all the cops in the area show up. Imagine all the cops showing up, but they have superpowers of gods.
Exactly. And now people like Glex and the others, they're arrogant enough to think, oh, let them come. But the rogues, they're the ones smart enough to know, like, what are we, crazy?
That's the thing. That's the thing that makes the rogue so cool. First off, they have an honor thing, so they're like, we're not gonna let
no women, no kids.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? That's respectable. But they're also not stupid.
Exactly. Again, in fact, in a way, the reason what happened was Bart, they got caught up in the emotion. They're like, oh no, this is going south. I don't want to go to jail again.
And then they're
crap.
like, oh no.
Yeah, they're like, you idiot, we weren't supposed to kill him. And I'm called, let me think, think about what? We're dead.
Yeah. Right. So Dante says Slade has more strength than Taskmaster, but Taskmaster does have the speed. Yeah, it's like it really. But Slade's intelligence is what gives him the overwhelming edge.
Actually, I give you something. Unfortunately, the case of Priest kind of doing to Slade what he did with Black Panther. Slade was able to somehow using his armor, tap into the Speed Force.
I remember that. Or like he became a air quote speedster. I remember that.
Yep. So, now granted, it was because of his suit.
Yeah, and then Thoth says Diana is an incredible fighter. Yeah, I wouldn't. No one should want to go up against Wonder Woman. Let me put. It's like.
Oh, here's what I mean. Here's the traditional story playing out. Slade, if it goes his way, it's a case where Slade looks at, like, say it's something Greek related or Amazonian related. He'd be like, there's a good chance the Amazon might show up. I better prep for that. And so he does. If it's a case where she comes in out of nowhere, he's like, wasn't expecting this. He's down. He's going down flat.
Yeah. Now let me put it to you this way. There's this great line from New 52 Supergirl where they're fighting Hell's forces and Diana's like holding them back while Batman and Superboy advance the plan. So Superboy goes, "You're just gonna leave her alone?" And then Batman goes, "That proves me you don't know Diana. The worst thing you could do is get between her and a fight."
Oh, I love that. Now, granted,
I absolutely adore that moment.
Now, granted, it does put more emphasis on warrior, but
in the context of the story, I'm fine with that. Because that same writer also put emphasis on her emotional connection to Clark earlier in the story.
That was Mike Johnson. That was Mike Johnson at that point.
Yeah, as long as you do both, I'm fine with that. Because Diana also, I take it where like Diana's like if she's in a fight, she kind of enjoys it a little bit. That's why in BVS when like
that smile, I love that.
By the way, again, that was Godot's improv because she's like, yeah, she would enjoy a fight,
especially the fact she hadn't had this good of a fight in ages.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, yeah, I dig that. I love it.
Like I haven't had a fight since chronologically since Ares.
Yeah, so I'm like, yeah, I dig that. That's why no matter what anyone says, I will always adore.
And then it probably reminds her like, this reminds me fighting ogres. Ah!
Yeah, she's like, oh, I love this. Yeah, she's probably like, oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, this reminds her of fighting ogres on Themyscira or something. It's like Thor. It's like Thor being like, yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Remember, she had just gotten knocked back, so it's like, oh, a challenge.
Exactly. But like I said, Slade would definitely be one where she'd be like, come at me, Wilson. Yeah, I want to test your metal. I want to test your metal.
Yeah, and Cameron asked, could Slade carry his own film? I think he could.
Yes.
This is the character where I go, he could.
Hey, they're working on this one with him and Bane. That shows he can at least co-lead it.
Even beyond that, I do think Deathstroke is that character where you could give him his own film, particularly in a post-John Wick world.
Exactly.
Yeah, Lego Masters, would Ra's al Ghul win against Deathstroke?
No.
But
that's usually why Slade would never go into a fight with him.
Yeah.
That he would more sooner hire him. Yeah, and Slade would have no reason because he also knows if I kill him, the whole league's coming after me, and the League of Assassins coming after me, and I'm not that stupid.
Again, Slade's not stupid. He's like, would I win? Yes. Do I want to win? No. So
it's why even in Shadow War, he didn't cause the fight. Byron did. What was his name? What was the guy's name? The guy who made it, it's Tara's brother. Geoforce. Geoforce did.
Brion Markov is
Yeah. Geoforce caused it.
By the way, and NJ says Batman said Wonder Woman is the best melee fighter on the planet. You know, Bruce is almost always right. No, again, I'm saying Slade would probably only delay her in order to fight. I still say Wonder Woman would beat Slade. Let's be clear here.
Okay, can I also be honest on this? A properly modern day Shiva would also give Wonder Woman trouble.
But still Wonder Woman would still
win.
No,
she would, not unless Shiva also uses pressure points, which Diana is not immune to.
Yeah, like this way, believable, but would I like? Do I?
It's the same thing with Slade. Yeah. It's the same thing. It's the same argument with Slade. Is what I'm saying. Yeah. Shiva is one where I could be like, okay, I buy it. It's Shiva.
Yeah, exactly. And again, NJ, we're not saying you're wrong. We're just saying there are other factors that could determine that. In other words, it's just if it ever happened.
It basically, if this was a death battle where it's like there's no plot, no nothing, pure fight, yeah, but Diana would curb stomp them all. But if it's a case where you actually have to take a story into account, then it's up to the plot. But it's, again, believable with Shiva or Deathstroke.
Yeah. And guys, you went there. I said Deadshot for Slade for sure. Could Deadshot carry his own movie? No, I don't think so.
Nope, he needs the Suicide Squad. He needs the squad.
Yeah, exactly. He's not. Oh, and by Cameron. Yeah, I am sorry. I did read that wrong. All right, but yeah, it's like no. Slade, yes. Floyd, no.
Because he doesn't. Besides his daughter, usually doesn't have that much expanded to his lore, his own personal life.
Yeah, exactly. And NJ, again, we're not saying you're wrong. We're just saying that, like, if it happened, it would be somewhat believable. Somewhat.
Yeah. Somewhat. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I said, if this was a death battle type of situation, you're absolutely right.
Take away the story, it's not a contest.
Exactly. It's not a contest. But when you do, it's like the Cable versus Booster Gold death battle. That one in the end, you realize, yeah, Booster had everything at his disposal. Did it make sense from a coolness factor for Cable? Hell no. But by feats alone...
It's like when they did a death battle for Darkseid versus Thanos. Take away everything else. Ultimately, Darkseid will win.
Yep. Even though realistically, Thanos would not go in. He's also a prepper.
Yeah, exactly. But ultimately, at least the way I think he's been handled, there is no amount of prep time that could prepare you for a match against true form Darkseid.
True form Darkseid, no. Avatar in his own...
Avatar, yes. But if you notice, that's why at the end of the death battle, it came down to true form Darkseid. That's why I'm saying you cannot beat Darkseid.
Yep, but they also had him rely too much on the gauntlet.
And let's also remember this other factor here with Darkseid. Darkseid is a multiversal constant that needs to exist. Thanos isn't.
In fact, the Thanos knockoff during Justice League Incarnate basically showed I'm needed. You're not.
But Cameron says, so what was the marketing for this movie? Because I forgot some existed.
None.
Me too. There was none. There was really none. That's the thing.
There was none because they basically like, okay, it's done, but CW Seed has fallen apart. Let's just get it out.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, yeah, it's not. It's because like this way,
there was a cheap DVD and everything.
The only time I ever knew this movie came out was on Max when I was going, oh, it's a Deathstroke movie?
Yeah.
Because again, I've always said Slade and Darkseid are my two favorite comic book bad guys of all time.
They're not my all-time favorites, but they're up there. Thanos, yeah, exactly. I prefer Thanos over Darkseid.
Okay, and that's understandable. But the point is, those are at least my two and stuff. I hear the term universal in power scaling debates. Well, what is that? And is it higher than multiversal? Outversal.
Wait, what versal?
Outversal.
I have never heard that. What the heck is outversal?
So outversal is it means super duper. It essentially means ridiculously strong.
That sounds made up.
It is. So the way I kind of see it is like,
Multiversal understandable. Multiversal is understandable. Omniversal is understandable.
by the way, literally, there was only one character that I think could curb stomp Diana. Only one.
Superman.
Superboy Prime.
Oh, or Earth 2 Superman in his youth.
Now, I still say only Superboy Prime. This is the guy that punched a hole in reality.
Technically, so did Earth 2 Superman at the start of Infinite Crisis. Superboy Prime did it first.
Yeah, but
He did. He did. He punched through limbo at the very end of issue 1.
Yeah, but with him, you just have to punch him hard enough. It's.
Oh yeah, he doesn't have them. He doesn't have the magic weakness.
Yeah, with Prime is like on a level onto his own.
Hey, to the point where Diana had to tell him you were right during death metal to get him on their side because she knew I don't have time for this and I can't beat him.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Superboy Prime versus the Sentry. That's a death battle for you.
Prime.
Still, Prime wins. Prime wins.
There's no argument. Prime will win. Because he's a pre-crisis level.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys think Jericho in this movie is similar to his comic counterpart?
No, and similar, but they replaced the body swap with pure telepathy.
Yeah, and then Cameron says Diana beating Clark. Honestly, I can't argue even if I wanted to bring in the Clark knows martial arts. Yeah, here's the thing. One of the Justice Leaguers, Wonder Woman is the best fighter. 100%. Yes. That's the way I
maybe Dinah.
Maybe, but
again, Dinah has been established to being able to be rivaling Shiva.
Yes, but counterpoint, it's like when you also factor in Diana's powers and her training, that's why I still give a slight advantage to Diana. But the thing is, it's like whenever anyone says Wonder Woman fights Superman, Wonder Woman.
Because of the magic sword?
Here's the difference. It's not necessarily at a power level. I still say although from a power level, she could still win. The way I always say this is Diana of the Trinity is the one most likely to be willing to take a life. If it came down to it, and Wonder Woman
look at Sacrifice. Look at Sacrifice.
Or look at Doomed. If it's no other option, Diana will take that step. Clark won't.
Yes, but again, if we do it in a death battle type of thing where that's off the table,
a death battle where it has to be, I still say Wonder Woman, but the gap in advantage shortens a little bit.
All right.
That's just me. And again,
well, okay, all right, but it's like it depends on the version of Superman. If it's the current everything counts Superman.
Well, here's the thing. Ultimately, you could find any story that justifies why any character would win. You could find a story that justifies Green Lantern defeating the entire Justice League.
It's why I can't stand. I've been seeing some people saying, "Oh, Luffy from One Punch would just completely own Reed Richards," and he's like, "Boom, boom, 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 yeah!" Like he wouldn't even stand a chance. Like, oh, shut up.
You could find some story on the other side. That's the thing, and you may be wondering. Why then have these conversations? Because it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. And again, I'm more talking about from story perspective. Yeah, what tells a good story.
Yeah, because straight up, if we're talking about like this way, if we're talking Prime Earth, Superman fights Wonder Woman to the death. Wonder Woman. Prime Earth. I mean the one that I don't mean anyone that has like no weaknesses or anything. I'm talking about the one.
No. I'm talking about the current one where you have every continuity, every bit of history counting. Superman.
I guess we're just gonna have to agree to.
The death battles show that because by your logic that means Wonder Woman could take out Goku.
Yeah, but here's the thing: Death Battle considers even the Golden Age stuff.
No, because they were going off of the whole, taking it literally the whole everything counts. Yeah. That's what the whole point of it was. They were trying, they even said some version of Goku could beat Superman, but not this one where everything counts.
Yeah. I'm still not necessarily convinced, but I see what you're saying there. I
Yeah,
see what you're saying.
that's all I'm saying. If you go by that
Ooh,
logic,
Lego Master has a good one. Natasha versus Deathstroke. Deathstroke.
yep.
It's Slade. It's now. How about the Winter Soldier? Still Slade.
So Deathstroke.
Still Slade. That's the yeah. Still Slade. Still Slade. Do you guys think DC should lean into the R more? That it depends on the character. Slade, yes, make it an R-rated movie.
The Suicide Squad, yes.
Yeah, the Suicide Squad. Yeah, it's like.
Well, I mean, in general, the Suicide Squad in general.
You could. Again, it depends on the movie itself because if the character like Clayface, yes. If the character calls for it, yeah, go ahead. If that's what you need to properly.
Superman, hell no.
Spider-Man,
Wonder Woman, hell no. Spider-Man, no. Batman,
Slade.
no. Oh,
Slade.
I'm not sure.
Intelligence, bro.
No, yeah, but Peter's Spidey sense is broken.
Yeah,
it is broken. If Batman couldn't stop him in Death Battle because of how broken the spider sense is, and you remove lazy writing.
Yeah, I'll go with that. I'll agree. There's a little bit of an argument there. It's like one of the debates I had was like Wonder Woman fights Spider-Man.
Okay, Spidey, because her power would overdo it.
What do you mean?
No, because even with the Spidey sense, he can't dodge forever.
No, okay. So you mean Wonder Woman would win?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah. That's my point there because when you take into account everything, eventually Spider-Man is going to slip up.
But against someone like Slade or Batman, Spidey.
It's a little more believable. I still say Slade wins, but it's believable if Spider-Man wins. I'll give you
because
that.
because again, Slade would have to have a means of now. If I'm going by Death Battle rules, no prep time, no nothing. If this was a story for a story reason where Slade would find out about his spider sense and concoct something that could deal with it, one, he'd have to know about the spider sense. But two, then he could do it. But in a traditional.
Now, if we're ignoring prep time, no, but it's like if you're allowing prep time, if Slade was assigned to kill Spider-Man, he would have done his research.
Granted, now the thing would have to apply both sides, so Spidey would do the same thing.
Yeah, I'll give you that. He would probably figure out.
To make it fair.
Don J says, "What if Slade against the Sinister Six?"
Slade.
Again, tactical.
Well, okay. Well, here's the thing. Depends on which Sinister Six. Because there's been so many different incarnations.
The one where I am going to give the advantage to the other character, the pairing, is Slade versus Agent Venom.
Yep. Because even Bane couldn't handle Venom in Death Battle, and I agreed with that.
Yeah. That's the one where I'm like, yeah, I'll buy that.
Even against regular Venom.
And Don J, yes, we will be reading the crossover comics. Yes, we will, 100%.
Yep.
And I'm looking forward to it as well.
Yeah, exactly. But overall, it's kind of funny. We've been talking more about Slade and how he would deal with other characters more than we did the movie.
Because the movie is not that complicated, so it's like, all right, it's fine. But
the discussion was a good one to talk about.
Is Stephanie Brown the least skilled fighter in the
Duke Thomas? Duke.
Stephanie,
by this point, has been taught by everyone.
The very fact that she's been taught by Batman proves me she's not the least capable.
Or taught by Cass.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, no. Duke, yes.
Yeah, because Duke more relies on his powers or others.
Yeah, exactly. So overall, I give the movie.
I give it a 7. I was going to give it a 7.
Okay, yeah, and it's really because also the other part that gives this movie an advantage, it leans into the blood and gore that a Slade.
Yeah. That one woman who gets her head blown off with a grenade in her mouth.
Or when Slade shish kebabs that one dude and chops him up into pieces.
Yeah, but I gotta say, I'm surprised they didn't decide to have that woman be Bruno from Dark Knight Returns.
I know.
Because it looked a lot like her, just minus the certain symbols.
On certain areas of her chest, exactly.
But she basically looked like Bruno.
Yeah, but overall, yeah, pretty fun movie and very enjoyable. So
and Slade, badass character who, yeah, you can more likely. He's one of those rare characters where you can buy being able to defeat people within reason.
Now, if he fights all of the Justice League at once by himself, he eventually they're gonna get him.
Exactly. But again, like I said, the Identity Crisis, the two bullshit ones, was Flash because of the reason behind it, and Green Lantern, him somehow having willpower enough to at least almost take control of the ring.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, NJ says, what's your take on Shiva having a son with Bronze Tiger? Does she?
Oh, yeah, yes, she does. That was part of Secret Six, and I think it's fine.
Yeah,
just like Cheshire having a son with Catman.
Yeah, by the way, I'm going to say this again. Speaking of Shiva, the very fact that they thought it was a good idea to do a WWE book with her and Canary on who's the most effective fighter, here's the fatal flaw of that story. Shiva doesn't care.
I know.
Why would she fight? Why would she fight?
I know.
She's like,
no, I gotta go back over and see if they did give a legit reason. I gotta go back over it.
They need to, because here's the thing. Shiva wouldn't. She's like, I don't care if someone. I don't care if someone were. I'm a.
Now I will say this: if it was for charity, she might.
She might. Oh, by the way, and Shiva isn't a racist. Yeah, she was. Yeah, she said some choice things against Black Canary that I'm like, what?
Yeah, but I would say Shiva, if it was for charity, Shiva might.
Oh, she would. Yeah, she. It's
she's not a monster. She's not a monster. And if it's like it's for charity and we want to get this fight over and done with, then fine.
But if it's like this, but the way it was presented in that story, I go, no, not buying it. This is stupid.
I will go back over and I will let you know.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. But it's and also yeah.
Wait. Slade versus Shiva.
Oh.
I'd say Shiva.
That's a tough one.
I'd say Shiva because she has been made so broken.
I'll agree with you on that one. If it's against a although so is Slade though. So can you really?
No. But in the fighting skills and everything, they have just gotten to a point where it's like Shiva wins just because it's Shiva. They've reached that point. Slade still has to add some believability. Shiva, no.
And by Cameron goes, how has that not been done before?
Yeah. I think it might have, but I'll look it up.
Yeah, all right. But overall, great movie. And yeah, I think it's a good place to leave it. So you guys can catch me at 9 o'clock on the Lethal Geeks podcast, talk about comics and stuff. And then tomorrow, Super Wonder Legacy, Britt and I will be comparing Superman and Wonder Woman to Black Adam and Isis, obviously the character. And Wonder Woman Wednesday, I'm going to be doing a updated list of like the next 5 of my favorite Wonder Woman artists, because there's so much I can do with that. And let's see what else. Not that much for me. Robert, how about you?
And about 7:30, so in a little bit, I'm going to be going back to my RoboCop on Rogue City Unfinished Business Let's Play. Then after that, I also have a lot of videos prepped up.
That's an understatement, but
I have a lot of video. Yeah, I got so many.
I take my hat off to you, brother.
Well, again, a huge number of them were built up over a couple of years that I just kept sitting on.
Yeah, I'll give you that. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, but and I'm coming up on 600 in a month.
Heck yeah. So stay heroic, everyone. Remember, Lois Lane is Lois Lane. She belongs to General Zod. And Steve Trevor is Steve Never. He belongs wherever the hell is. And Zoe's the Max about for life. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.